In today's video, I'm going to show you a very good example of why you should always set and follow your personal minimums and to follow that gut instinct that's telling you to not take off. Because I didn't, and I got myself in a questionable situation. We're going to go over that. I'm going to show you some things I could have done better in this flight that I had, and things of what not to do is a very good way to put it. But let's get into it. Let's go fly. Okay, so the plan for today's flight was to go down to a little fly-in breakfast about 20 miles south of my home airport to meet a friend. And while I achieved that, the weather conditions were just not complying and not doing what I wanted them to do. The whole week it was forecasted to be a clear day, and then the night before that all changes and it goes down to very overcast, cloudy, low layers. It wasn't fun. But I still was within my personal minimums. My instructor said it was safe to do since it was such a short flight, so I did, and that's kind of where I went wrong. But we started on the ground in Rush City, my home airport, and we're flying down to Forest Lake Airport in Minnesota, and let's see how this goes.
Rush City traffic, Skyhawk 61594, back taxiing to runway 34, Rush City. Alright, little cloudy day, only have 1,000 overcast, but we only have a little 25-mile flight down to a breakfast fly-in. I'll meet a friend down there, gonna take him flying. But yeah, it's gonna be cloudy. We're gonna be flying pretty low all the way there, but everybody else, ceiling seems to be higher down there because a bunch of people flying in there. I saw on flight radar, so had to delay the flight. Wanted to get going about an hour and a half ago, but the ceilings were 800 overcast, so we're just deal having very marginal VFR. Alright, run up brakes, they're to the floor, fuel is on both, trim is set for takeoff, flight controls. Free and correct. Instruments, they are cross-check, calibrated, good. Make sure we're going to go full rich. Primer is in and locked. Start running up to 1700 RPM. Window. Doors shut. Right mag. RPM drop both. Left mag. Back to both. Pull the carb heat out. Got the drop. Put it back in. And all the engine instruments are in the green. Let's shut the door. That looks a little bit better. Alright, throttle friction, we're just gonna adjust that. We are ready to take off. Rush City traffic, Skyhawk 61594, taking off runway 34, left downwind departure to the south, Rush City. Go ahead and turn strobes on just for added visibility. There's runway 34, heels to the floor, and full power. Airspeed is alive, low crosswind correction. There's 60 knots, rotate. Go birds. Cold air is cold. Shut that vent.
So now this is kind of the point where I'm second guessing my decision to take off. And I've already made one bad aeronautical decision, and I'm about to make another one by continuing the flight. I decided that it was only 25 miles. I'm familiar with the area, and I know where all the towers are. And if I have to say something like this,
Stay right below these clouds.
then I probably should have realized that I need to turn back and wait out the weather even longer.
Rush City traffic, Skyhawk 594, turning left downwind for 34, Rush City. This low cloud level, we have 10 miles of visibility. I mean, I can see it's pretty far out. I mean, obviously 10 miles, but feeling is kind of annoying being this low.
Now, if you are on an IFR flight plan, this would be completely fine. It would be, this is a safe day, the temperature was good, there was no icing, flying through these clouds would have been safe and fine, but flying VFR, not quite instrument rated, but instrument trained, still nonetheless not safe. A good aeronautical decision would have been to turn around and land.
It's supposed to clear up down south, so we'll see. If not, then that's going to be not fun.
I just want to take a second to explain aeronautical decision making, ADM. It's basically like any real life decision. It's more for the safety of your flight as a whole, your aircraft, your passengers, and of course yourself. The choices I made for this flight were not the safest, and that's the decision you want to make, and that's why I'm here explaining this. You always want to make the safest decision, not, oh, this option is safe, option B is safe, option A is safest, but option B will get us there on time. We want to go with option A, because you'd rather be on the ground wishing you were in the air than in the air wishing you were on the ground. About 5 miles from our destination, the weather was at its worst, and I wasn't able to turn back, otherwise I would have been in IFR conditions. So I pushed through and I made it safe and sound, and I had a very strong appetite due to being stressed out. And all could have been avoided with some proper decision making. So I recommend to definitely follow your gut, follow your personal minimums, and always make the safest decision. But now we're gonna go to look at the flying, look at the cool planes that were flying around, and eat some breakfast.
Waved to all the little kids.
Forest Lake traffic, Skyhawk 61594, taking off runway 31, pointing to the south, Forest Lake. Are you ready?
We are ready to go.
Let's do this. Full power. Knots, rotate.
And we are
Airborne.
We have liftoff.
We have liftoff.
For a first-time flyer, Ryan did seem pretty comfortable in a small airplane. I kinda like to think that has something to do with my amazing pilot skill. I made a bad decision to fly in these weather conditions, but I've learned from my mistake and I'd like to use this opportunity to teach others to make the safest aeronautical decision. For all pilots, especially low-time pilots like myself, I know you want to take your friend flying or take that girl on a flying date, but if it's unsafe to fly, then do not fly. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future, I promise. And if you do decide to fly in unsafe conditions, it may be your last flight and there will be no more opportunities in the future. I appreciate you watching the video and I hope you learned something new. Subscribe to Take to the Skies with me and follow along on my pilot journey. There'll be more videos coming soon, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Fly safe.